Welcome to the Maria Liberati Show, where food meets art, travel, and life. So, what does food mean to you? Today, we are celebrating Cinco de Mayo and spring. And my special guests, well, we're going to visit Mexico City with the special guest Sebastian Garrido, who's going to tell us a short story about it's actually a food connected story, and about his favorite restaurant in Mexico City. And also we have Shelby Devore, who is a gardening expert, and she's going to be sharing some tips on planting your first spring garden. Stay with me. Embark on a culinary journey with the Basic Art of Italian Cooking book series. That's my Gourmand World Award-winning book series, and discover the secrets to authentic Italian dishes that will wow your family and friends. Bring the essence of Italy to your table. Grab your series now. It's available at Amazon.com, at Kindle.com, at artoflivingprimamedia.com, and at marialiberati.com, and anywhere books are sold. So today we are, Cinco de Mayo is coming up, and we're always looking to make that connection with food, like to make the show part of for my listeners. So kind of make it their show. So today we have Sebastian Garrido. We're actually traveling to Mexico City with him, and it's so pertinent for Cinco de Mayo, for our Cinco de Mayo kind of show. He has a really lovely story that he wanted to share with us, and it's definitely a food connection. Sebastian is he's in Mexico City. He's with a company called Vibe Adventures, and they are an online travel agency. Is that right, Sebastian? And
Yeah, that's right.
so you do tours just in Mexico?
No, we do tours in Mexico and in some parts of Latin America, and we're currently looking to expand.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Okay, so Sebastian, I know you the lovely story to me in an email. So tell us your story, your food connection.
Yeah, thank you, Maria. Yeah, as you say, food has a strong connection, and well, mine in particular, it's big. Yeah, it's private until I decided to talk about it, but I feel confident in sharing it
Yeah.
because I think it needs to be shared. Well, my story is that it's almost been 3 years since my father passed away. He passed away from cancer,
Uh-huh.
sadly,
Uh-huh.
and well, there is this Mexican restaurant in Mexico City called Los Panchos.
Uh-huh.
It would be like translated in English to the Panchos. And well, this place has a lot of specialties in tacos. Like, yeah, the tacos we all know and love. But my father had some particular tastes. Like, he loved this called taco campechano. Like, it's a mixture of steak, sorry if I'm mispronouncing
That's okay. Uh-huh.
pork rinds,
Uh-huh.
chicharrón,
Uh-huh.
and the Spanish sausage that
Uh-huh.
we called in Mexico longaniza.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, so this taco is a combination of that. He also loved something we called buche, that
Uh-huh.
it's from the pork's belly.
Uh-huh.
It's delicious, even though I know it doesn't sound that delicious. But he also loved this,
Uh-huh.
and he loved this thing called petrolera, that is like it's a tortilla, a
Uh-huh.
really big one, and it has beans and well the cheese and the kind of meat that you want.
Uh-huh.
So he used to love like these items from this particular place. So a few months ago, I decided that I wanted to go back there by myself because I haven't been there since, yeah, my father passed away.
Uh-huh.
So I went there and I ordered all of his favorite food that he used to love from this place.
Uh-huh.
And actually, I started to cry when I was eating because I got that connection, that I got all the memories
Yeah.
that when I went to this place just with my dad.
Uh-huh.
So I felt like connecting with him again through food.
For
I
food.
know it may sound like a little bit crazy,
No,
but
it
yeah,
doesn't.
I felt like this strong connection. Thank you. No, no, don't worry. So yeah, I got like this connection. I started to cry. I remembered all of these moments with my dad, and I felt, let's almost say, like relieved because I think this is like the best tacos now that I had in my life because of this moment. Even though he wasn't there anymore, he was there in my heart with his spirit. And well, in Mexico, we have a lot of beliefs like from heaven and all of that.
Uh-huh.
So it was, yeah, like that kind of connection. And yeah, I felt really happy afterwards,
Uh-huh.
and it was beautiful to remember all of that through food.
Yes, that's beautiful. And thank you. I'm sure it's very hard to share that story. I know I've lost my parents and sharing stories about them and having there's that strong connection with food, but there is, and at least you have that memory, which was a beautiful memory, and it was a connection through food. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Sebastian. Thank you. And happy Cinco
Maria,
de
thank you.
Happy How do we say Happy Cinco de Mayo? Do you say Happy Cinco de Mayo?
Not usually, but if we
Oh,
say it, we say like Feliz Cinco de Mayo.
Benice Cinco de Mayo. Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
Benice Cinco de
that's
Mayo.
right.
Great. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
sharing that lovely memory with us. Thanks. And today, our advice segment is some gardening advice because summer's almost here, spring is here. And my expert for today is a gardening expert from gardenfarmthrive.com, Shelby Devore from gardenfarmthrive.com. And she's going to give us some tips. And Shelby, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, I'm a gardening expert and I teach so many people how to start their first garden. And one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make when they're planning their first or their next garden is they overcomplicate it. And it's really easy to do, especially when you go to the local nursery or you start looking through seed catalogs and you see all of the options that you have for things that you can grow, right? So I like to take people through what's called the 5 minute refrigerator and pantry challenge. And it's super simple. And I love this tool for people to plan their first garden or their next garden. And all you do is you set a timer on your phone, or you can use your microwave or your oven, whatever you have handy. Set a timer for 5 minutes. I want you to look through your refrigerator, look through your pantry, and look at your grocery list and see what it is that you are buying fresh most frequently at the grocery store, and just write it down. Don't overthink it, just write it down. For me, we use a lot of tomatoes, herbs, garlic, that sort of a thing. Once you make your list, look at the top like 1 to 3 things that are on your list. That's where you need to start your garden with. So if it's for you, it might be tomatoes, it might be, stuff to make a salad, so lettuce and cucumbers, and that will give you a really good idea of what to put in your next garden or in your first garden if you're new to this, without it feeling overwhelming, right? But it's also going to put a big impact in the amount of fresh food that you can grow for yourself without having to buy it at the grocery store.
That's great. Yeah, that's definitely a good, I know there are many people that they try to grow all this stuff and then it's nothing that they're going to really use. So you're
Yes.
absolutely right. That's
Yeah.
great. Great tip. And I know Shelby will be back again with some more gardening advice on our show. And Shelby, thanks again for your gardening tips for those wanting to start their first garden of the season.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. And that's Shelby Devore from gardenfarmthrive.com. Thanks for listening to the Maria Liberati Show and visiting with us this week. And thanks to my producer, as always, Britton Roselle, and this week's special guests, Sebastian Garrido from Vive Ventures and Shelby Devore from GardenFarmThrive.com. And until next week, peace, love, and pasta.